Get ready for Tuesdays with Tiffany Lewis. Tune in at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to Be the Change. Only on Clear Source Radio, where we inspire people soul to soul. Only on Clear Source Radio.
Hey guys, what's up? I hope you're having a good day. Hang on one second, I'm gonna make sure the music's good. Okay, first of all, today's episode, I'm going to issue the biggest parental advisory. We are going to be talking about very sensitive material today. I wouldn't let your kids listen. I'm actually going to be playing true audio, original audio and content. I'm going to tell you a little story about something that just happened to me. We're going to talk about challenges, and specifically we are going to be talking about challenges that can hurt, will hurt, injure, and also most likely end up with your children taking their own lives by the hand of suicide if they were to partake in any of these challenges. So, I'm going to take a second. And again, I'm going to issue a trigger warning. And trigger is not even a good enough word, so let me rephrase that. I would like to I can't talk today. Whatever. I would like to please put a serious parental advisory on tonight's show. Parents, you need to listen to this. Children, please do not. Parents, please do not let your children listen to this. If you think they're old enough to handle it, well, after you hear it and it's on iHeartRadio and all of that good stuff tomorrow and YouTube, then feel free to let them listen to it at your own risk. This video, tonight's show is going to become a video because I am going to be incorporating actual footage, actual content, and I'm going to be playing for you actual audio of the footage and the content in which I am referring to. So here we go. I'm Tiffany H. Lewis, and welcome to Be the Change. Let's do this. I'm going to dive right in. I don't have a lot of time with you guys. So the very first thing that I'm doing, I'm playing a very specific set of binaural beats in the background. Maybe it's quiet-ish, but there are parts that get loud. So, they're there to be subconsciously ingested through your listening experience with me. I want you to hear my words, but I also want to counter all of the things I'm going to be playing for you. There are some very, very disturbing audio clips I'm going to play. So the binaural beats I'm using this evening are specifically meant to counteract any negativity or negative effects that may come of you hearing it. So, with that said, let's go back in time 5 months ago. 5 months ago, I discussed with you guys the Tide Pod Challenge, the Momo Challenge, and the dangers of each one. And just before that, maybe a couple of months before that, 3 seems to be a relative number to me. It seems to be kind of every 3 to 5 months I discover a new one. 3 and 5 is also big numbers for these challenges. You have to wake up at 3 a.m. and do this, or you have to do something for 30 days, or 3 times, or 5 times, or 50 days. So, again, I'm going to start talking really fast in a minute because I have a lot of information that's probably going to blow your mind. When I'm about to play an audio clip, I'm going to give you plenty of warning so that if you don't want to listen to it, and you might not want to, then I'll give you a chance to stop listening, and then I'll say, okay, I'm done playing that clip. They're really short clips, guys. I'm not here to... I don't do negative or negativity. I don't vibrate on that level. I vibrate at a very high frequency. So naturally, I intend for my messages to come across in a very high frequency, positive manner. However, when I'm discussing topics like this that are very serious and involve suicides and challenges and things that hurt you and or other people, and especially kids, teens, vulnerable children, or anybody really, I really try to counter that by playing positive, very high hertz binaural beats. So here we go, diving in, and yep, my energy just changed. So I'm going to do this upbeat because I am going to counteract these few clips that I have that are so disturbing, I don't even want to listen to them. So let's do this. Here we go. Diving right in. All right, it goes like this. So, hold on one sec. Y'all already know I do that. I'm drinking Red Bull tonight for the record in case you care. All right, cool. All right. Let's start with the Blue Whale Challenge. If you've not seen or heard any of my episodes or videos on the Blue Whale Challenge, please head on over to my YouTube channel and check that out now. Lots of information there. That one's a 50-day challenge, if I'm not mistaken. With these challenges, they have a lot of things in common. The common theme is this. Look, somehow you get presented with an opportunity to take part in a challenge. Secondly, it seems to be a very important thing for, teens, preteens, guys, I've even seen small children. Oh my God, I'm not even going to go there. I have seen very small children doing challenges. Now, some are safe, maybe. The mannequin challenge, the be quiet challenge. They're literally exactly what they sound like. Mannequin challenge is just stand still. Be quiet is a great challenge. I love that one. It's just like, shh, be quiet for as long as you can. And there's no reward. Another common theme. The challenge I'm going to be discussing with you today, though, oh Lord, they finally offered up a reward. So, Blue Whale. You are going to carve a whale in your arm. You're going to be told to do things every day at 3 a.m. And what the idea with the Blue Whale is that with every single challenge, which again, I think is a 50-day challenge, which per my memory of making this video and this recording of it, quite a while back, 5 to 9 months ago, you're going to do challenges like every day. And every time you do a challenge, you have to take a picture of it and submit it to they have several different words that they go by, but we could say an admin or whatever. It doesn't matter. The point is, children gain access to these things, and children are anyone between the ages of, 2 and 18. I would say that they're very vulnerable between those ages. I would also say that in the world that we live in here in 2019, YouTube creator, that's a big deal. That's a thing. So people want, and not just YouTube, social media in general, people want those dopamine hits. People want to get people to like, follow, and subscribe. In order to do that, you're going to have to be a lot like an artist and become, pretty creative. AKA creator. Creator creates something that may or may not have been created before and does it in a way, and then they spread that through whatever avenues they choose to spread that to or through. And then people like, follow, subscribe, whatever, and bam, instant dopamine hits. A lot like Facebook. Like somebody likes a post, hearts your post. I'm not going to go there about why you only have 4, emojicons like smile, cry, heart, and thumbs up for like, because that's not really relevant right now. But please know that those are specifically the only 4 you're allowed for a reason. In an upcoming show, I'm gonna show you some cool tricks that I've learned. Just a sidebar right there about how to find hidden secrets emojis. And the reason why I brought that up right now, where I brought that up, is because all of these things are like these secret, hidden, supposedly secret, hidden, almost exclusive, almost like maybe being considered a 1%er or a 2%er or an A-lister or popular or famous. Doesn't matter. The word creator means you are a creator. If you take the word creator and you think about it from a religious standpoint, who are you talking about? That is correct. God, by any other name in which you know God by. Somebody who created everything. The original creator. So YouTube specifically has a platform, and I'm guilty of this. I have plenty of channels on YouTube. Okay, but I try very hard to create and distribute content that is not just useful, but helpful and positive, and it is absolutely intended to raise your vibration, and I like to teach people things to make you more awake and aware of everything. It's very important to be present and know what's going on around you at all times, and I can't stress that enough. So, back to Blue Whale Challenge. Let's just assume it's a 50-day challenge because there isn't a real number. It's somewhere between 50 and 90. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, that last challenge, no matter how many times you do challenges, here's how it's going to go down. Every time you are sent a challenge by a mod, M-O-D, mod. So that means moderator, right? Or admin or whatever words they're using these days. So let's just stick with the original content, mod. A mod sends you a challenge. You have to do a challenge and you have to take a picture of it. Every single challenge that you do is going to be more disturbing than the last one. Now, the idea here is a little bit like the power of suggestion, but in a very threatening manner. It's like literally saying, do this or I'm going to kill you. Secondly, as a YouTube creator, children want attention. So to gain more subscribers, likes, followers, dopamine hits, etc., you better be creating some content that's original, or at least making it more interesting than the last person who created it. And those are known as Creative Commons licenses. It's where they recycle a video that somebody else made and they monetize on it. But that's a whole other subject. But this Blue Whale thing started something, and it's not the first one. It's just kind of the first one of this caliber that actually led to, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to misgive a number here. So we'll say somewhere between 6 and 150 children actually did take their own lives, because of the Blue Whale challenges. So like I said, it plays on your fears. So to kids, I guess it's scary to watch a scary movie, especially at 3 a.m., especially when some mod sends you a link. This is a very specific link. And I'm going to get into a personal story here in a minute. But first, let me explain. So one day, you might be challenged to wake up at 3 a.m. and listen to a song. Now, I've heard these songs, and I'm not happy with them. They disturb me. It takes a lot to disturb me. Enough about that. Now, if it disturbs me, and I am basically the most undisturbable person on this planet because I live in such an active house, and I dive into so many topics openly, freely, willingly, voluntarily, and at the risk of something actually happening to me for the sake of research so I can share it with you so that it doesn't happen to you or your children. Again, it takes a lot to disturb me. So if I'm sitting here admitting that it's disturbing to me, you better believe it's disturbing, I assure you. So maybe one day they'll say, they'll send you a text. Blue Whale wasn't the first one to use an app called WhatsApp. The thing about WhatsApp is that, WhatsApp is an app for any kind of phone that you have that's a smartphone. You get like a private WhatsApp phone number, and then there are numbers that you call specifically to get a hold of these entities, such as Blue Whale or, let's say, Momo Challenge for a minute. We'll come back to the Momo Challenge and a lot of the other ones. And if you remember a few minutes ago when I said to you that I was going to do a video for you very soon about some new tricks that I've learned. Those have to do with numbers as well. Just like literal numbers that you literally type into your smartphone that you never knew existed, that make your smartphone do things that you did not know you could do. Kind of crazy, but very cool stuff, all positive stuff. All right, so Blue Whale is going to push you a little further each time now. So if they say go lay on the railroad tracks and take a picture, well, either A, you can do that, or B, they're going to ask you to have somebody there witnessing it. Now, the threat is, so person A is laying on the railroad tracks. Person B is using person A's phone to take a picture of person A laying on the railroad tracks at 3 a.m. or whatever the deal is that they made. And they don't make it. The mod tells them what to do, and they do it or else. And if you don't do it, then you're going to die. Another very important piece about this is that there's always this lingering fear that somebody is watching you. They seem to have knowledge of where you are at all times. For me, that's easy to figure out how they're doing that. It's called tracking, especially when you're using apps like WhatsApp. And you know, the problem with WhatsApp and Snapchat is it says right in the very beginning, as soon as you download it, that it is encrypted end to end. For those of you that don't know what encryption is, think about binary code, a bunch of ones and a bunch of zeros. This is how you make anything at all. This is coding, literal coding. So encrypting something end to end means unless you are smarter than somebody who knows how to write a complete program in binary code using ones and zeros, which is just a basic platform. I haven't even gone into other languages such as C or whatever. Let's just stick to basic binary code. You know, binary, bi equals 2, and ironically the numbers are 10, 101, 1110, whatever. So if it's encrypted end to end, that means nobody can see it but you and the person. And as soon as you see it, it's over. Just like Snapchat, right? You post a snap, somebody sees it, you send it to somebody, and it's over. That's it. It's gone. Supposedly. Because it's supposedly encrypted end to end, all of your data. So supposedly, if you were to try to go back and re-find it, it's not supposed to be there anymore because it has been encrypted end to end, which means I took a whole bunch of numbers and letters, or let's just say like a black permanent marker, and I just scribbled all over it so no one could ever read it again. Back in the day, before internet was around, people would take black markers, Sharpie markers, kind of black permanent markers, and black out through a line or a sentence or a series of lines or a paragraph in sensitive documents, and or then shred them. Why black permanent marker? Because black permanent marker goes on both sides of the paper. If you look at a highlighter, a yellow highlighter, and you highlight something, flip the page over and look at the other side. Yeah, you just highlighted it in reverse. That's that mirror image. But the black, a smart person would use permanent ink, black marker, black out whatever sensitive info is on whatever page or pages, and then if you turn it over and look at the back of it, it's blacked out too. Or you could just do a second line over it, whatever. Back on to the Blue Whale for just a moment, because I've got a lot to say and not a lot of time. So you're going to hear me speed up at some points. You're going to hear me slow down at some points because certain parts, obviously, I need to elaborate a little bit more on than other parts. All right, Blue Whale. Every challenge is more terrifying than the last. The thing is, no matter what happens, you think your data is being encrypted end to end, meaning mommy can't see it, daddy can't see it, whoever your guardians and parents are cannot see it. That's what you think, right? Go into Snapchat and send somebody a snap, let them open it, and go back and try to find it. See if you can find it. If you can find it, well, you're smarter than I am, first of all. And you should probably look into becoming an engineer or a software developer or something. Secondly, it's not actually always encrypted end to end. It just says that. The fact that it says that, and the fact that I always tell you guys the truth is always hiding in plain sight. When the very first statement that you see when you download an app called WhatsApp, just so you can specifically talk to other blue whales or mods or momos of the world, yeah, the fact that the very first thing you see is your data is encrypted from end to end. Yeah, that's kind of scary in itself. That right there should be warning enough for you not to do it. Why would you need to encrypt your data end to end? What do you have to hide? You only encrypt it if you have something to hide. And you don't want the common person, the average common daily normal person, to be able to find it. So you tear it apart, sort of like with a black Sharpie, you just kind of scribble all over it. Not necessarily in that manner, you know, as far as software is concerned or language, like coding. But it's like a child took a black permanent marker and ruined your project. You can't read it. End-to-end encryption, which means it goes away the second that it's looked at, sent, done, whatever. Now, you also have the threat that somebody's following you. Do you want to know how they're following you? Have you heard of facial recognition? Do you have a computer? You have a phone? You have a smartphone? Do your children have computers, phones, smartphones? How about TVs? How about, I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to get her started, but I have Alexa here in my house in multiple spots. They all have cameras on them too. Here's a little thing you might not know about iPhones in general. I'm sure Samsung and Android and all of them have caught up to speed with this too, but you can actually legitimately put software on, you know, a very specific software that I am speaking about on an iPhone for your children. So if you're going to get your children a phone, make it an iPhone and install some spyware on it. I did not say malware, I said spyware. That means every time their phone rings, your phone rings too, and they have no knowledge of it. Every text they receive, you receive it too, and they have no knowledge of it. Even though they think they might be outsmarting you by using apps that encrypt data end to end, such as WhatsApp or Snapchat. Not true, guys. I maybe will, at the very least, when I make this video, add some links so you can understand coding a little bit better than I can explain it. Okay, so again, every challenge is worse than the last one. At the very beginning of the Blue Whale Challenge, your very first challenge is to pick a death date. And yeah, you just heard me correctly. A death date. You can pick any date you want. You can pick any numbers you want and just put them together and say, this is my death date. You walk into this thing knowing that the end result is to ultimately kill yourself. Fact. Oh, Lord. Imagine a teenager, or just remember being a teenager. Remember when you were a teenager? Because I remember when I was a teenager and we didn't have this kind of stuff, but we did have things like pagers. And for any youngsters listening, pagers, yeah, they were just this little thing. Okay, fine. We were teenagers and we were really immature. And sometimes I still am about this specific pager / beeper thing. They came in really cool colors. I remember having one that was yellow and see-through. Anyway, you could type 8008 and no matter which way you flipped it upside down or not, it spelled a word. I'm not going to go there. If you want to type it in and figure out the word, go ahead. This is PG, guys, right here. Maybe even G. This might even be G-rated right here. There's a couple other ones. 411 means like, hurry up and call me. I have important information. But it wasn't like cell phones. Like it said who it was coming from. I don't even remember or recall how I knew who it was coming from. 911 wasn't a thing. 411 on a pager, on a beeper, it's like, oh my gosh, I have serious information, back in teenager land, back in the 90s or whatever. All right, well, then internet happened. And, in the beginning, internet was MySpace land. And that's where you began forming these abilities to create. MySpace. I'll always, hands down, love MySpace. MySpace was so cool. The internet had just come out, and basically the first platform that we were given outside of internet itself, the very first platform of its type, which, by the way, did not include dopamine hits from other people to make you feel better about you. It was a personalized creation of yourself that you wanted whomever to see. And it's not like public people could just search it. You have to give them a link or something and provide them with something to see your page. As soon as they land on your page on MySpace, you've learned how to code quite a bit, or at least copy and paste and know what code is. And if you've ever had a MySpace page, then at least you know what code is, because you have to copy and paste it. What happens when you enter my MySpace page back in the day? You're going to hear my favorite song, aka my theme song. So I can compare that today, right here in 2019, to something like this. If I were to walk into a room and I wanted you to see this very specific me, whatever, a picture, let's use a picture, for example, a very specific picture of me, and that ongoing fantasy. If I walked into a room and a song played every time I walked into the room, what would that song be? Well, MySpace gave us that. But they didn't just give it to us. They allowed us to create it and taught us a lot about coding, or at least copying and pasting, in a world where that was not a thing. To date, none of the other platforms allow you to do that. Don't believe me? Go ahead and try to put a song on your Facebook profile. I've already done my research. If you can prove me wrong, please send me the link so I can do it too. Please do, honestly. All right, so they've picked a date. They're going to die. They're going to kill themselves. They walk into this knowing that. Then they're going to go ahead and mope around for the next 50 days or whatever many days until their death date. And they have to complete all these challenges. The fear of somebody knowing that you're right there is real. Why is the fear real? Well, because your devices, your computers, your phones, everything that you have that's smart or intelligent uses this thing called facial recognition. If you don't believe me, go ahead and look up what is a real ID. And if you think I'm kidding, please go ahead and look up what is a real ID. A real ID is something that you may already have. This is where you take your actual driver's license and you literally go down to your local DMV or DPS or whatever it's called in your state, and you are commanded and demanded to hand it over. It will expire some point in the next year or two. I'm not going to go that far. I'm going to say November of 2020, I do believe, is the date that it will be sort of court mandated, required, that kind of requirement. If you do not have a real ID by then, if you do not hand over your actual driver's license only to get and receive a real ID that uses facial recognition, has a chip in it. Now, here's the beauty in this. Every stoplight with the camera does what? That's right. You run it, you get a ticket in the mail or whatever. Basically, every corner on every street anywhere, they have cameras on them. Think about Google Earth for a minute. All right. So that is facial recognition, chips, and technology. So facial recognition is very much like criminal profiling in the way that it's very unique, just like a fingerprint. It's going to use so many points. I'm just going to use the number 15 as an example. It's going to take 15 key points from your face and compare it to a database. Now, if you are driving, you have to have your driver's license on you, which, by the way, is now called a real ID. So you've got your real ID on you, and anywhere you go in the whole wide world, you're traced, you're tracked. Every camera in the world is tracing you and tracking you. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're a criminal, you're getting caught, period. Why? Because of facial recognition. All right, back on topic. Kids. See, Kids, y'all don't understand this. If the government can force adults to literally hand over our actual driver's license and get something called a real ID just so that we can be found anytime, anywhere using Google Earth or any other type of intelligence, because the Constitution was changed. And I don't know if you know this, but it really was changed a few months ago. So basically everyone is allowed to be monitored. All your calls are monitored, whatever. You're already being tracked. You're already being traced. So parents, if you have kids, go ahead and trace their phones and track their phones. Get an Apple phone. Google how to install it remotely. It is just a thing that you get them to open, and it automatically begins tracking every single thing that they do. Another great thing, you could give them family access. You could use Life 360. Doesn't matter how you do it, but you should do it. If you're going to give your child a phone and it's smart, okay, you better have software on it. You better be stalking your children's phones. I promise you that. Or else you're not going to see what's going on. Anybody who's got a teenager that thinks they know every single thing about their teenager, you are completely wrong. I don't care how good your child is. Anybody can be manipulated to do anything if threatened. I talk about this sometimes, how people can and will confess to a crime that they did not commit to spare themselves from, enduring long torture. If you know you're going to be tried and hung for whatever, you're going to go ahead and admit it to get it over with. At some point, you will break. They throw you in a hole long enough, at some point, I don't care who you are or what your opinion on this is true. And until you've been in that situation, then you don't get to have a say-so in that, unfortunately. You might say, nope, I'll fight to my death that I'm innocent. And that may be true, but you're still going to get tried and hung if that's what they say that you're going to do. Remind you of a real ID yet? All right, here we go. I'm about to start talking fast because I've given you a lot of examples, and I've been very specific about several things here only to bring you here. So here we are. Blue whale, pick your death date. Do all of these challenges. And do these challenges and have someone take a picture. Now, I need you to know that when you're doing that, there is somebody who's tracking you, tracing you, and is also taking a picture of you, or your friend taking a picture of you. Now, when they send that back to you and threaten you with that they're going to kill your friend if you don't do the next challenge, how would that make you feel? What if you were a child between the ages of 2 and 18? How would that make you feel? Wouldn't that terrify you in general, no matter what your age? Add a teenager to that. Let's go ahead and add some hormones, dopamine hits, endorphins, social media, we live in a world where we are taught to be creators, and to be a creator would suggest that you need to be at least a little bit more creative than the last guy. So you're going to want original content. So this is where challenges come into play. This is what social media has literally done to our brains. This is why I do not get on social media. For those of you that don't know, I really, really don't get on social media other than YouTube. I do it when I want to at my own pace, and I'm very careful to keep my cameras covered on everything in my house, to include ALEXA, my computer, my phones, everything. I don't even put my phone in my room with me when I sleep because it listens to everything that you do in the background. Guys, if you have an iPhone, go ahead and install that software on it and listen to yourself. Oh, Lord. If you have a Samsung, and I'm going to do a video on YouTube, I'm going to show you a code where you can literally listen to your own last voice in the last 20 phone calls that you've ever made. Fact. Just Samsung users. Serious. Galaxy, whatever that is. Yeah. You guys, the last 20 phone calls you ever made, it recorded your voice. I'm going to teach you a cessation of pounds, star, or asterisk, and numbers that will literally let you hear your own voice, and only your own voice of that conversation. It's a two-way conversation, but you only get to hear yourself. It records your last 20 phone calls, period, point blank. All right. So what that did was create a world where we became dependent on something without realizing it was necessarily happening. Even if we did realize it, one sec. And I talk about this a lot. Every time I realized that it was doing to me, I knew, thank you to MySpace, you taught me a lot about algorithms. So I knew that every time I mastered an algorithm and figured out how it was outsmarting me, that the algorithm changed. I'm pretty sure probably 9 out of 10 people listening right now, I'm pretty sure you noticed those changes too. That's why you see these posts on like Facebook or whatever, like if you can see this, you know, how do I have all these friends and only 3 people ever like, or nobody likes my post? So if you can see this, please go ahead and hit the like button. Okay, that's not going for a dopamine hit. That's a serious check, a reality check. Why do I have all these friends and how come only 2 or 3 or 4 of you can see them? Can you see my post? If so, comment, like, whatever. Okay, that's an algorithm. Those change. Back in the day, you could get 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 likes on something. Yeah, it's a little different today. Your audience has changed. Come on, guys. All right. So, Blue Whale Challenge ended up with a whole bunch of suicides. Each time, each challenge, they learned how to isolate more with the threat always hanging over their head. And this is a very real threat. I'm going to get into a personal story in a minute, but let me get there, please. This threat is real because your phone is being traced, tracked, encrypted end-to-end data. And, you know, they're bouncing off of satellites that change every few seconds. You know what an internet service provider is? Do you know what a satellite is? Yeah, that's the thing called a ping. That's what your phone does. Everywhere you go, you ping off of the nearest cell tower and or satellite. Also, that's what the Real ID does. It pings you just like a cell phone to your nearest, you know, but it's actually facial recognition. So it doesn't just ping you. It runs your face in a system sort of like NCI, whatever programs are available. I'm not going to go there, and I'm not going to name drop any agencies, but there are programs out there, especially for like missing and exploited children, where they use certain points on your face to identify a person, like 15 points, for instance. So your nose looks like this, your eyes are shaped like that, your hair, your whatever, anything that's remarkable about you, such as a tattoo on your face, etc. Facial recognition. It's so much better than that, but that's just a really, you know, mellow version of it. All right, so Blue Whale, at some point, one of the last things you're going to do before your death date that you are going to follow through on. Why? Because you signed up for it. And not only did you sign up for it voluntarily, you signed up voluntarily without knowing that it was real. Maybe you thought it was a joke. Maybe you're a creator and you just wanted to create a cool video for whatever platform to gain likes, follows, subscribes, whatever. Well, the problem with that was the second you accepted that first challenge, maybe even before then, the second you decided to play or even type in the word challenge or challenges, that's the second that changed your life and led to your demise. And you know what? They don't let you go easily. They harass you. They torment you. I promise you, they stalk you. They show up at your school. They send you nice little gifts like, you know, there's a story about a person actually receiving what is called a black box. I'm not going to tell you what was in it. It was a body part. This is where you get into your dark web stuff. Your deep net, a step further than that dark web. All right, that's all I'm going to tell you about Blue Whale. Other than one of the last things that you have to do right before your death date, you have to isolate, cut off all communication with everybody, put online hashtag I am a blue whale. You're proud of the fact. Man, I've seen children wearing t-shirts with this stupid blue whale on it, and I only call it stupid because it's stupid to do. So don't do it, because you're not stupid. You're better than that. So please don't do challenges. And you know what? I'm going to take it a step further. please do not even type in the word challenges right now. This is 2019, and I am telling you right now from experience, as a very experienced creator, user, social media user, and old enough to know where this started, how it happened, and watching it go downhill forever since the literal beginning of the actual internet and the literal first cell phone ever. First-hand knowledge and experience. So, if you were to go online and type in the word challenge, oh, by the way, blue whales are dead now, as in they killed themselves. And I'm just going to drop that there because I need to move along. Remember when I talked to you about a Momo challenge? A Momo is a Japanese doll-like creepy figure that sits on a stand. So imagine a pool stick. Cut that pool stick, like where you actually shoot the game pool, you know, like with balls and a pool stick, the game. A wooden stick. Take a stick. Just imagine any stick, or take a pool stick and cut it in threes. Now take one of those 3 pieces. That's about how long it is. About a foot long. 12, 14, more like 12 inches. 12 inches high wooden stick with like, it's got kind of carvings in it that make it sort of a circular pattern. You know, whatever. I'm not going to go there about that, but Momo. All right, Momo. Momo came onto WhatsApp. People started specifically dialing certain numbers knowing that they were going to get to play the Momo challenge. What is the Momo challenge? The Momo challenge is Momo contacts you because you contact Momo. You say, hey, Momo, I'm a creator. I'm on YouTube. And you know what? I want to make a really cool video about how not real you are. Yeah, I realize that you're a Japanese doll that's actually led to several suicides. But you know what? I think I'm smarter than you. So I'm just going to go ahead and videotape myself doing a Momo challenge. Well, there's a problem with that because you just downloaded the app called WhatsApp because that's how you contact Momo. And by the way, as soon as you download that app, I bet you Momo contacts you. All right. I've told you a lot about Momo in the past, so I'm going to keep this short, sweet, and simple. She's a creepy figure made out of what, wood? I don't know. In Japan, she's got long, black, stringy hair. She's creepy. She's got these humongous white eyes that, like, when I say eyes, I mean like literal circular eyeballs, like at Halloween when you give like gumball eyeballs, like that. So they're just white balls, each eye, one on the left and one on the right, and in the middle is a black pupil, a very distinct black pupil that you may not know this about. You stare into that pupil long enough and there is always, always, always people that have said what? The eyes are the windows to the soul. What you don't know about her pupils is that they go in a circular spiral motion. I cannot get into physics with you right now and the significance of that, or quantum physics, but we can talk about that again in the future and why that's important. But, so she's look, she's a creepy doll. Who cares? She's a creepy doll that's a head with black stringy hair and white bulging out eyes with black pupils that if you look closely enough at them, you're going to see they actually spin around and around and around and around in circles in a spiral. Not circles, but a spiral. And not always clockwise, and that's an important piece, and I'm just going to drop it right there because I'm running out of time. All right, I want you to brace yourself. I'm going to turn my phone on now, and I'm going to play you some very real clips that I just caught an hour ago. So I was typing in challenges, which I just told you not to do. So if you just like literally don't want to take my advice, or you know you're one of those people that just because I said don't do it, you're going to do it. All right, but prepare yourself for this. The second I typed in challenges, I got Tide Pod challenge, you know, where you eat the Tide Pod and you stupidly die or get sick or throw up. Okay, that's just stupid. Whatever. Or maybe the Momo challenge, or maybe the Blue Whale challenge, or maybe this new one, the Pyro challenge. It's like where you take a shower and you light yourself on fire. And if you think I'm kidding, go ahead and Google it. How about the backpack challenge? Oh, I'm going there about that one right now. All right. So, parents, do you have kids? Have you ever heard of Peppa the Pig? Peppa Pig? You know that cute little cartoon with the British accent? Peppa? Yeah, they're cute, right? They're like a pig family. They kind of remind me of the Berenstain Bears. And notice how I said Berenstain instead of Berenstain. Check out my video on the Mandela effect if you have no clue what I'm talking about and or I just blew your mind. Here we go. I am now going to play you some clips. So I was typing in challenges. How did I get to Momo challenges and Peppa the Pig? I don't know. Peppa the Pig somehow, Momo somehow, again, we're talking about a figure, a doll on a stand, except she's not a whole doll. She has two arms. She has, a chest, a female chest, and sort of an upper torso. She has a neck. She has a face, two bulging out eyes, a weird nose, and weird lips, and black stringy hair that is perfectly placed in a creepy manner for very specific reasons. I have a drawing of her. I will insert that into the video. So I'm typing that in. I'm reading about how Peppa the Pig has multiple, and I mean these are the original versions, which ironically did come out 5 months ago at the exact time that I was literally explaining to you what the Momo challenge was for the first time. Almost to the date. And that's pretty terrifying, but I'm going to play you some clips. This is not a joke. This is your warning. If you can't handle this, stop listening right now. I'm going to play Peppa the Pig, and Momo's going to come into the video, and she's going to tell you, well, let's pretend you have children that are sitting down watching Peppa the Pig. Okay, or Peppa. And then Momo's going to come into the video. I don't know, maybe her and Peppa collaborated. Maybe they're creators. Who knows, who cares? By the way, this is on YouTube Kids. And if you don't take my advice and you go ahead and type in whatever words I'm using right now or any series of any words, let me tell you personally what's going to happen, because what personally happened to me an hour ago, literally, and I will include all the footage. I don't edit and I don't lie. I do not deceive, and I am as transparent as they get. Well, except I'm not dumb enough to do these challenges, but you know what? Here's what happened. At some point, my phone, I was trying to videotape these clips for you so that you could hear the audio and I could insert the video clips into the video I'm going to make and put on YouTube. So what happened was my phone did this thing. My iPhone did this thing. I've got my iPhone staring at the television, which is playing the YouTube video of Peppa the Pig. And then in the, few seconds go in, and then Momo comes on the screen. And this swirly, remember that swirly thing that her eyes do? The spiral? It's a lot. Okay, look, I'm going to try not to get too graphic, but here we go. Quantum physics and physics, there's this word called finite, which means it has an end. A spiral, no matter which way you turn it, counterclockwise or clockwise, a spiral is not finite. It's infinite. It goes on and on and on and on and on, no matter which way you spin it, left or right. Think of a little spinner or a fidget spinner. Got me? Okay, so it just keeps spiraling on and on and on and on and on. Sort of like a black hole. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play those clips now. So if you cannot handle what I'm about to play, stop listening right now. Please. This is the last time I'm going to warn you. I'm going to play a few clips. The thing I was going to say before that was when I held my phone up from across the room and I zoomed in on my television, which has a front-facing camera on it, it started showing me on my phone, trying to record the clip of this for you. It showed me recording myself, recording this to show you. Yeah. And I have pictures of it. It also zoomed in on the characters' faces in some of these and used facial recognition to... Oh, God. It's just creepy. Just... hang tight for the video. It puts this yellow box around their faces and it begins to facial recognize the people in this video on YouTube. Secondly, before I played this, audio clips, YouTube Messenger for Kids. If you type in the word challenges, guess what's going to pop up next? No matter which device you're on, because they're all connected, whether you believe me or not. And I don't care if you don't believe me. Go ahead and type it in and put yourself at risk. Go ahead. You're going to see they're all connected no matter what the brand is. Every smart device in your home is called smart home for a reason. I'm serious. All right, so you got a clip with Peppa the Pig, and then Momo comes in and tells children to get a knife and slit their wrists in a very particular manner and motion. I'm going to play you that clip. Then if I have time, I'm going to play you another clip of a girl who's a YouTube creator. It's just a video about a girl who has a friend that's also a YouTube creator. She edits her videos, and then somewhere she comes into contact with someone or some entity of some sort that tells her to start doing these challenges. And as I was literally, this is real, y'all, like literally an hour ago, as I was literally sitting on my bed with my iPhone in hand pointed at my TV, playing these videos on YouTube, literally, it started showing me myself. It showed me on my TV and on my phone, me sitting there videotaping what I'm trying to show you. So, never mind. Just, wow. All right. So, I can do a couple of clips. I will give credit where credit is due. These sources, they don't really come with any credit, but if they do, I will install them in the YouTube video, because I'm not here to steal anybody's stuff. I'm not here to be a Creative Commons user, creator, whatever. Here you go. Last trigger warning. If you want to hear this, step out of the room right now, because here we go. Kids, get out of the room. Please, parents, get your kids out of the room now. Here we go. This is an episode of Peppa the Pig. Like an hour ago. All right. Next up, this is a news channel warning you about that video and others just like it.
Awareness for World Suicide Prevention Day.
Is the Momo Challenge an actual internet concern?
Keep your kids safe. They're temporarily blocking YouTube after the Momo Challenge is causing big concern. Momo Challenge?
What is up, guys? If you haven't seen it already, I made a video before this in hopes of spreading awareness. I'll have the video linked down below. If there are kids out there watching this video, turn the video off now. The point of this video is to bring awareness to parents and adults so they know the types of videos to watch out for, because the contents of this video are quite repulsive. Alright, let's get into the first clip.
Pigs homemade strawberry cake.
Oh, a wasp.
Hello, I am Momo. Well, get where's Nightmare? I am going to kill you. I will kill you.
Yo, those
Then I will
eyes are
crumble you in your bed.
yes,
And you're going to be dead. You want a surprise?
Why this guy trying to
In my house.
time?
I won't lie. You're going to die. Slice your leg and you'll never meet me. Slice your wrists and your parents will never see me. Sweet dreams, little one. Beware of me.
Hold on. All right, I'm going to stop playing that. All right, here's a news clip.
Exposed to on YouTube Kids, and so they can try and protect them. For now, if I was their parent, I would not let your kids go on YouTube Kids for now. Anyway,
Parents, do not do YouTube Kids, Facebook Messenger Kids, or anything with the word kids. Anything that you think is safe, literally, yeah, no. Especially if it has the words kids directed towards your kids. Because those normal cartoons that they like to watch, such as Peppa the Pig, now have Momo in them. And not just in them in the way that I just played them, but also it's like the Peppa the Pig cartoon comes on, and then 4 seconds, 2 seconds go by, and then Momo comes on. They show her face, they show the spiral. All right, I've got a little bit more. I'm not going to get to play the whole clip, but this is what it actually sounds like. I recorded this literally an hour ago in the video I'm going to do and post. I can't even speak because I'm just, oh God, whatever. All right, in this video, you're going to see this clip that I'm getting ready to play for you, and how it's videotaping me, videotaping it to play it for you.
She does what she wants and makes me feel bad.
This is a girl who edits the other girls' videos. Creator.
You're better off without her.
I don't know. Can you help me? I'm looking for ideas for new challenge videos. Any suggestions?
How about the cinnamon challenge?
We've done that.
Mannequin challenge?
We've done that too.
Have you heard about the backpack challenge? And there is a reward waiting for you at the end. To get the reward, you must complete 3 challenges. Each challenge will be more and more difficult, but you must follow them, and you must not tell anyone. If you succeed, you receive your reward.
All right, I'm going to stop that. I don't want you to hear anymore. I don't. I know that that video is using some very disturbing music, and I purposely went quiet there just so I could bring the positive binaural beats back into play here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn them up as I finish this video. Or, sorry. This is the radio show. The radio show where Tiffany fumbles for words a lot. Because Tiffany is actually blown away. This is called Be the Change. Yep. I've changed today because of this. So, I don't know what else to tell you. You're going to do whatever you want to do. But what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to turn up these high frequency binaural beats. Yeah. I'm going to get you on my level. Hear that? Feel that? That's positivity. So, actually, I'm going to turn up a little bit louder. I want you to embrace this. I'm going to be quiet. I have 1 minute. Listen. You feel that? Raise your consciousness. Yeah. You're a spiritual being. You're awake. You're smart. You are intelligent. You are beautiful. You're not going to get on YouTube. You're not going to let your kids watch anything on YouTube. You're not going to download WhatsApp. You're going to delete it off your phone. You're never going to let your children watch Peppa the Pig ever again. Momo is dead. She's over. Her little Japanese curse. Yeah, game over. Blue Whale, that's gone too. Backpack challenge. The reward is not a reward. Are you listening to me? Alright, guys. Yeah. That might have been heavy. But you know what? Just by listening to this, you're now operating on a high frequency. Just like I always am. So, alrighty. I thank you so much for tuning in. And by the way, thank you. Seriously, thank you. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Are you ready to be inspired? Are you ready to make positive changes in your life? Tune in to Be the Change, live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, featuring our heartwarming radio host, Tiffany Lewis. She's an empath, an indigo, and has a new and uplifting message for you.